Hey YouTube, it's Wes. In today's video, we're going to cover a brand new cryptocurrency to this channel. It's one that I am really interested in, and I think you're going to be interested in it too. See, it bridges the gap between privacy and security, something that a lot of cryptos don't really cover. And inside of that, there's some really important implications for you and me, and I do think it's a great crypto that we may want to consider investing in because it's got the potential to go some places. Want to know more? Want to know what it is? Well, my friends, it's called Secret Network, and in this video, we're going to do a deep dive on it and a whole bunch more coming right up. All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. If we've never met, my name is Wes Spencer. I'm a technologist, I'm a cybersecurity entrepreneur, and I love cryptocurrency and cover a lot of all of those topics on this channel. So while you're listening in, would you guys do me a favor? Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It does go a long way for my channel. Hit the like button if you like the content and give me some feedback along the way. So in today's video, we are talking all about Secret Network. And I'm interested in this one because I've got some friends on the project. And so they've been talking to me about it quite a bit. I have deep respect for them. And they got me into it. And I'm like, well, this is really, really interesting. It checks a lot of the boxes. And here's where I want to start. Rather than jumping right into Secret, which I'll show you, we're going to do a tour through all of it. I wanted to start with this right here. You ever thought through, when we talk about cryptocurrency as a whole, especially starting with Bitcoin, it's proven it's a secure method. Proof of work works really well. Now, it's not without its flaws, but one of the interesting things about cryptocurrency, and especially as Satoshi designed it, and this is true for not all, but the vast majority of cryptos, is they're actually not private at all. While they're secure, they're missing the privacy element. They're missing the ability inside the blockchain to stay private. In other words, anybody can see your transaction, my transaction, and any data that goes inside of it for most projects. And that may not seem like a huge deal to you, but as a cybersecurity nerd, there's a difference between security and privacy. Often they go hand in hand, but sometimes you can have security without privacy, and sometimes you can have privacy without security. And I just illustrated an example of that. Most crypto, you look at Bitcoin, for example, highly secure. We've secured the blockchain. We've shown that the mechanism works. It's fully decentralized, but it's all without privacy. Let me show you some examples of this just to kind of illustrate. So I want to share my screen. This is really what got me thinking about this. This is from CoinDesk. And the news is not as relevant as the illustration of it. So this is an article that just came out just a few days ago at the time of this video. And it's talking about Bitcoin whales and how they are resuming selling. Now that kind of gets you thinking, wait a second. How do we even know who the whales are? And how do we know when they're buying and selling? Well, again, because the entire blockchain is open, we can see not only who is buying and selling, but we can see from wallet addresses who are the ones that have the most Bitcoin altogether. And so if we scroll down, we can see this right here. This comes from Glassnode. I'm going to maximize this so you can see it a little bit better. So Glassnode is reporting and sharing all wallets that have a balance of 1,000 or more Bitcoin. So that's a whale, right? I mean, that's a whole lot of crypto. Most of us wish, including myself, that we had that much. And so you can see what's going on with the activity inside of this. The activity doesn't matter so much as just all of a sudden realizing, wait a second, there is visibility into trades, which wallets are making those trades, how much crypto they have, and a whole lot more information that you may never have thought through before. In fact, we can go on. Let me show you some more information. So this is called the Bitcoin Rich list, and this is a list of all of the top wallets in the entire blockchain for Bitcoin. Other cryptos are just very similar. I could show you the same thing for other cryptos. We'll just stick with Bitcoin. So you can see the #1 address right here is from our friends at Binance. This is one of their cold wallets. It's good to see that they have this in a cold wallet. You can see 211,000 Bitcoins. My goodness, that's a lot, right? And so you can see all of these. You can scroll through. Some of them are tagged because we know who they are. For example, like I showed you, Binance's cold wallet. But others, we have no idea who this is. Look at the #4 held wallet. I don't know who that is. It's a fair amount of Bitcoin that's sitting there. I don't know who it belongs to, and it's not tagged. But my point is, we can see all of this. We can see the transactions. We can see who owns a lot. Even further evidence and all that. Let me show you a couple other things. Do you know what this wallet is right here? This one is a really notable one. If you watch one of my very first ever Bitcoin videos and really YouTube videos at all, I covered the rise and fall of the Silk Road. I was a professor of information security at the time. Right up here is a link if you want to go watch it. This thing blew up to like 500,000 views over time. And it was just a coverage of the FBI affidavit and how the Silk Road was taken down, at least from the FBI's perspective. And what you're looking at right here is one of the actual wallets that the illustrious Dread Pirate Roberts DPR used. And I'll just leave it at that. If you want to know the rest of the story, go watch my documentary on it. But this right here, you're looking at the actual wallet. We can see it. We can see how much Bitcoin went into it, how much Bitcoin went out of it. There is still a tiny balance. Back then, it was like pennies. Now it's actually a fair amount of money that's sitting there in the wallet. But that's kind of interesting. You can see it. That's my point. It's transparent. Let me show you another example of this. I don't know if you know what this one is or not. This is my favorite wallet in the history of Bitcoin. This is the famous Laszlo Pizza wallet. So many years ago, he was talking with some friends. I think it was on Bitcoin forums, and they did a transaction for a couple of Papa John's pizzas for a whole bunch of Bitcoin. And everyone teases Laszlo, man, it's a multi-million-dollar transaction in today's value. Well, yeah, it was. But back then, it was worth the price of those pizzas. It just was. And how was he to know, or anyone else to know, that it was going to blow up into 50 to 60K? No one knew that. And so this is interesting. You can actually see the actual wallet. You can go back in time and you can see Satoshi Nakamoto's wallets himself or herself or themselves, whoever that is, the original creators of Bitcoin. You can go all the way back and peer in and see those things. What's my point? My point is this. Crypto is not as private as you might think. It is possible to track transactions. It is possible to see what's in the contents of wallets. It's possible to see what goes into a contract. It's possible to see what the data is of an NFT. While they might be secure, they are not private. Now, enter Secret Network. So Secret Network is operating under this assumption. You can check this out. I'll put a link in the description down below when you want to check out Secret. But I wanted to start with kind of a long introduction to illustrate the problem of what Secret is trying to solve. They understand, hey, we've got great technology in distributed blockchain. We've done a great job, whether it's proof of work, proof of stake, or some of the others that are out there, whether it's, some kind of Byzantine federated trust or what we call proof of consensus, which we'll talk about in this video, or proof of space with Chia, whatever it may be. We've done a good job with that. What we're still missing is ubiquitous privacy built into blockchains. And we've seen some do this. You might be thinking of some like Monero, for example, and Monero is doing something really cool in the proof of work world. But it still lacks a lot of the things that we would love to see in a private blockchain. For example, the ability to create dApps, to do NFTs, to write smart contracts into all of this. And so here's Secret Network thinking about all this, saying, in this day and age, 2021, we should have a privacy-first blockchain. We should have one that lets us write code in it and do some really cool things with it, all the while keeping it private. Now, I'll illustrate reasons why we would want that here in a minute, but I just want to give you a tour through Secret. In this video, we're going to cover why I think Secret's really cool, some elements of it, who's behind it, my thoughts on it. We'll do a quick analysis of where the price is currently at. You guys know on this channel, I don't really do a lot of price predictions because I don't think most people can actually, or if anybody can truly predict that stuff. So I stay away from that. But I'm going to show you what it's trading at right now, why I think it's a good potential investment once you do your own research. And then lastly, we're going to cover a number of Secret videos coming up of how to get involved in it. And it's pretty complex. So we're going to talk about some of those complexities and how you can get into it. I wanted to kind of demystify and simplify all of it for you. So let's jump into this for a minute. So they do have some really good things here. They easy if you just want to jump into this and read more, you can go pause this video and just check out what they have here. I'm going to show this to you in a minute. It's pretty easy to get started. If you're a developer, a huge kudos to them. They've done a good job on the developer documentation to show you how to get started building your own application or your own dApp inside of Secret, which is a really, really nice thing. Plenty of information to learn about it. They've got a swap, and I will show you that in a future video. We'll dive into it, but I'm going to at least show it to you so you can see it in action. Plenty of blog posts around all of it, how it all works, summit information for some of their the outreach that they're doing and trying to get the word out, which I think is super cool. So this is Secret's website. You can go check this out. I do highly recommend you do that. Watch this introductory video and you'll see what they're really trying to communicate is we need a platform that provides security, not just in the blockchain, but security through privacy as well. In other words, the things that I submit in, maybe it's a smart contract, not even the nodes that process it can see what's in it. That's interesting, isn't it? Why would that be interesting? Well, one, just privacy. I may not want people to know what's in the contract I put in. There may be needs for me to do that, whether it's some kind of like secret algorithm I have running, or maybe it's some kind of platform where security itself is dictated by privacy, and I need to make sure the data inside of it's secret. Maybe another example would be even medical data. What if I'm a healthcare company and I want to be able to store my patient's information in the blockchain? I definitely don't want to do that inside of like Bitcoin or Ethereum, just standard, because all of that private information is readable. So maybe secret would be a really good mechanism for that, to be able to store that data in a secret way. And then those that have authentication and access to it can give out access to that to the people or to the platforms that they wish. And then it gives them the capability to give how much they wish and how long they wish. So that's just one example of where a secret privacy first blockchain could be really, really valuable. Another example I'll give you. I don't know if you've ever heard of Frontrunning, but this is a financial example. So Frontrunning is when people have a lot of bots that are reading up inside of an exchange. Unfortunately, Uniswap is notorious for this. Bots are reading for big changes, whether there's a bunch of buys coming in, a bunch of sells coming in. And Frontrunning simply happens when somebody tries to get in front of that. The bot says, whoa, there's a whole bunch of buy orders coming in. I'm going to buy right now. Before that, they put in a really high fee to make sure they get in under those buy orders. Or conversely, they see a bunch of sell orders come in, a huge group of them. And they're like, oh, the price is going to dip. Let me do my own sell order first to beat the market, put a really high priority price on it so it gets processed first and slip in under it. The only way that happens is by bots that are watching this automatically. And that's how front running works. When you can see the orders being placed for buys and sells on a market, you can front run and you can get in front of it and take advantage of it. With Secret Network, you can't, at least as long as the exchange that's running Secret Network is operating under that mechanism to say, we're not going to give anybody the ability to know. We know orders are coming in, but they're encrypted. We don't know if it's a buy. We don't know if it's a sell. Shoot, we don't even know how much it's for, let alone who it's from. And it eliminates the problem of front running. So I think that's really cool. And it does solve a huge problem inside of a lot of these distributed marketplaces. So front running is a good example of this as well. So let's kind of dive in a little bit more into Secret. Here's their bridge. You saw this. Let me actually go back to this. You see this mentioned right here, their secret swap right here at the very top, and you can click on that. This right here is the swap. This is where you can actually make a swap between Ethereum, which is what Secret runs on, at least currently, and the swaps over to the actual Secret token itself, and then the things that run on Secret token. Now, this is really complex stuff. And so in a future video, I'm going to show you more about how you can do this and how you can get involved in it. But here's where all this works. You will need the Kepler wallet. Think of Kepler is very similar to MetaMask. It's a web wallet that you control and have custodial access yourself. It's non-custodial. It's what I really should say. So there it is. I'm not going to go through all of this right now, but I do want to show you the SeFi part of this. This is where a lot of people get interested in it. You're going to perk up if you're watching this and you're watching my channel for gains and what's interesting that's out there. Look at the yield rates for a lot of these. They are really, really high. Some of them are, over 100%. In a future video, we'll talk more about that, why they're high, how you can get involved in them, which one is which, how you stake, all of that kind of stuff. But you just kind of leave it there. Go check out the bridge. Go check out all of this. It's bridge.scrt.network, and you can see all of this in action. I'll put a link in the description too, so you can get there. So let's go back to Secret just a little bit more and talk about more of the mechanics of all of this. So if you go to their build website right here, this is where at the very beginning of the video, I was telling you they do a really good job of teaching you how to write apps onto it if you're a developer, how the whole thing works. It's very, very well documented. It's built. You can use Rust to build a lot of this if you're familiar with Rust. Rust is super modern and really nice, even though the name Rust kind of makes you think, well, isn't that old or something? But regardless, this will walk you through all of it. And by the way, This is built upon Cosmos. And I haven't covered Cosmos in this channel. There's just so much stuff to cover. I cover the things that interest me, but sometimes I stumble into one thing. I'm like, wait a second, maybe I should teach my channel about something else, like Cosmos, which is the SDK or the platform that Secret Network is built upon. We'll cover that in a future video, I'm sure. But what I did want to show is this is a very, very well documented platform. It teaches you everything you need to know to get up and running. And I like to see that. That certainly tells me, hey, the team behind whatever this project is has produced a lot of material to make sure they can build a user base that can build content inside of all of this. So let's answer another question, which is simply this. Who built this whole secret thing? You guys know one of my evaluation criteria and metrics behind how I evaluate a crypto is who are the founders, what's their credibility. In this case, it is as A+ as you can get. So this entire platform was built by these guys right here, Enigma. If you've never heard of Enigma, it's a group of developers that have had a rocky past. Things haven't always gone well for them. And actually, I commend them for that because we learn and we grow through our troubles and our trials. And I'll cover more of that in just a minute. But you can see here is Enigma. It's just enigma.co if you want to read more about them and the team. I love this logo of like the all-seeing electronic eye covered in glass, so to speak, right? I'm not sure if it's like an eye in a glass house, or if it's like they're trying to prevent you from seeing or whatever it is. But I love the idea of what it's trying to communicate of like we really need privacy in our blockchains. So you can read up more about all this. You can read more about the project. You can read more about the founders behind all of the projects. So I think that's a really good thing. I love the visibility and credibility into the whole group, the foundation themselves. You can see right here's where they publish. This is Secret Network right here. So we could click on this if we wanted to and it'd just take us right back in, or you can click on products and you can see what all they have inside of this, the Safe Trace. You can see all these other platforms that are built upon Enigma itself or the Enigma team. So I think that's really, really cool. Now, it's not just when you hear Enigma, you think, well, that sounds secret. Like who are those people? I bet we don't know who they are. So let me show you the background and the founder and CEO of Enigma. So this right here is the Enigma CEO. This is a guy named Guy. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. And he's got a lot of street cred, right? If you look at where he came from MIT. If you've never heard of MIT, you got to be crazy, right? They're a phenomenal school, especially in the areas of engineering and technology, right? And so this guy has a great background. He really knows what he's doing. I love his background of where he came from at MIT. But just because you're a smart guy and you come from a smart school doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect for you as you go down your journey. And this is not me hating. This is just the reality of their whole journey. Let me show you an example of this. About a year ago, from the time of this video, they ran into some trouble with the SEC. They did an ICO like many other companies have done. And the SEC said, no, this is a problem. The way you've done it, you've got to report all of this. And because you're not reporting it, we're going to charge you $500,000 and the ability for your investors to get their money back. So you can read this article. I'll put a link in the description down below. This is not to hate on Secret or the Enigma project at all, just to talk about, hey, sometimes we go through trials and tribulations when we're building a company, right? The entrepreneur's mindset is very difficult. We have to be willing to hit these roadblocks and figure out how do I overcome that roadblock and keep my company going. And Enigma, as a company, has done an awesome job of this. So while they hit this kind of ban hammer initially from the SEC, they learned how to survive through it. But here is some more information about Secret themselves, and I'll put a link for this in the description as well so you can check this out. But this is from Decrypt, the same people that had the article over how Enigma struggled with the SEC that I just shared. And this is a good high-level quick read of how it works from a user's, investor's perspective. And it talks a little bit more about how it uses, here we go, the Cosmos framework, which is Tendermint, which is what runs it. You can go buy, you can actually buy Cosmos now in Coinbase. It's a highly traded, well-known crypto project. So you can go buy that whenever you wish. I think it's called Atom is what it's called. And you can see how Secret runs on top of it. Also, another thing that's interesting about Secret, and really by nature of it using Cosmos, is it is a more modern protocol. So it uses something called BFT, Byzantine Federated Trust. Think of that as a consensus algorithm, a way, instead of using proof of work, to confirm or proof of script, it uses something called consensus. It has a number of nodes that all mutually agree through circles and systems of trust to say, we know this is valuable and real. And it actually operates with the understanding and expectation that there are malicious actors inside of the network trying to falsify something. And it has the ability to use a consensus algorithm to root the false things out and find the right things and put them into the blockchain. Those of you that follow my videos on Pi cryptocurrency, Pi is going to be the same way. It's a consensus-based algorithm because it's built on Stellar. Stellar and Cosmos are very similar in that regard. They both are proof of consensus, though they operate in different ways. One of the big advantages of a consensus algorithm is speed of transactions. And I think Secret really needs that speed of transaction because of what they're trying to solve is a privacy-based blockchain. It's naturally the applications built on top of them are going to need very fast transaction speeds. And so I think it's really smart that they chose Cosmos to build on top of. So there you have it. The other thing you may be wondering is, how's it doing from a price performance perspective? And I'm not, like I said, I don't really do speculation on this channel, but you can see right now it's trading at about $3, which is pretty nice. If you look at the market, just to kind of scroll down, for the longest time, it's been, since it's been released for about a year, it's been hovering really low in like the 42 cents. It slowly climbed up. It hit a peak of about, $4.78 earlier this year. And then another peak just recently, roughly the same price, $4.34 on the 17th. It's kind of come back down and it's trading. It seems to be pretty stable in that $3 price range. Now, what would cause this to go up? Well, more usage for sure, more maturity in the platform, more applications being built that leverage Secret itself. Which, going back to the beginning of this video, I have some friends that are in the Secret project and are very, very bullish on this because of its privacy approach. And we just need some time to bake in a lot of applications, platforms, and user base using Secret, which I think is really cool. Some additional data you can see here. So it is a $210 million market cap, which is really good. Fully diluted, 532. That just means if you take the total maximum supply that could be issued, that's like the full market cap at the current price. You can see there's a fair amount of total value locked up. This TVL and the TVL ratios, a lot of people in the DeFi world really pay attention to all of that. So it's good to see, 139 million. The ratio is actually not all that great. But for a new project, that is super okay with me. It doesn't give me any kind of shock factor or anything like that. The other thing that you'll see here is not a lot of markets that offer it. You see a few of the smaller exchanges, and of course, our friends at Binance, they tend to be pretty good from a centralized exchange. And so you're gonna have to be ready for all of this in terms of how do I get my hands on this on Secret? It's actually not really that easy. And I actually did this with my friends that are in the Secret project. They walked me through the whole thing and I'm like, man, this is actually pretty complex. So if you're interested in this, one thing I'd love for you to let me know in the comments is, yes, I would love to get more involved in Secret. I'd love to get my hands on it. How exactly do I do that? I'm excited at the $3 because it really may blow up over time and I believe in where it may be going. You may be thinking that and you really want to get into this and you're not a Binance user and can't get into any of these others. I'll do a video on how you can do some swapping to get into this. But I do think this is a great project. I'm very excited about this. It's just the security practitioner in me, the cybersecurity guy that loves privacy and really thinks a lot about privacy itself. Those are the things that get me excited about all this because we need the ability for us to have more privacy central, privacy focused applications and even blockchains themselves. And Secret is an attempt to do that. So I'm a big fan of them. Very excited to kind of see where they go. And over time, I'll be producing and releasing some additional videos that will be coming out that'll teach you more about Secret and where I think it's going to be going, how you can get involved in it, how you can stake in it. And from there, I'd love to know what your questions are about the entire project. And hey, while you're here as we close up, yes, I'm pretty bullish and very excited about this crypto and a whole bunch of others as well. So if you like this video and you're just new into this world of crypto, let me kind of take you under my wing. I love sharing the things that are interesting to me. One thing you can do is hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and definitely hit the bell icon to stay in touch with new stuff that I have coming out, new features, new products that are coming out, new cryptos and things that interest me and hopefully you as well. And finally, give me some comments. Let me know what you think about Secret. Are you using it? Are you in it? Do you want to get in it? If you're not, why not? Would it take you to get you into the entire project? I want to know from you. All right, guys, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.